Hello, Algebra 2. Today we're going to look at problem set 8, which is dealing with graphing linear equations. Now, this is something that you should have done in Algebra 1, but I'm going to show you two ways to do this. One is the old way, and then I'll show you kind of a shortcut method called slope-intercept method. To start, you look at this equation, 4x plus 4y equals 12. When you see an x and a y with no exponents, that is a linear equation. So whenever I put this on the graph, it's going to form a line. Now the best way to do this, either method, is to first solve the equation for y. So I take this equation, I'm going to start by subtracting 4x from both sides. So that leaves 4y equals, I always like to put the x term first, and you'll understand when we talk about the second method. So I have negative 4x plus 12. Don't combine those are not like terms. Then my next step is I need to divide by 4 on every term separately. So that gives me the equation y equals negative 1x plus 3. So that's my rearranged equation. Now, the first way we learned how to do this was to make a little table. I call it an xy table. And we did this and pick numbers for x, like 0, and as long as there's not a fraction attached to x, you can pick any number you want. Like, we'll just keep it simple and use 0, 1, and 2. And what we did with this was we took those three x values, plugged them in one at a time, and solve for y, I'm sorry. So negative 0 is just 0, plus 3 is 3. So when x is 0, y is 3. That's an ordered pair that we will put on the graph. Okay, then I do the same with 1. Be careful with that negative sign. Makes it negative 1 plus 3, which is 2. And then last we plug in a 2. That is a 2. Negative 2 plus 3 is a 1. So out of that xy table, I get three ordered pairs that I get to put on the graph. Now, it's always recommended to use 3 points because any 2 points could make a line, but if they don't all three line up, then I know I've done something wrong. So it's just kind of a way to check yourself. So 0, 3, if I go over to the graph, 1, 2, 3 is right here. Then 1, 2 is over 1, up 2. And 2, 1 is over 2, up 1. So when you put those 3 points on the graph, it appears that they line up. So we are then able to connect the dots. I'll do this the best that I can with my little cheater. And there's our line. Okay? So we can put little arrows on the end, and we're done. Okay? Now, today's stuff, in this lesson, we're going to look at a new method. It's called slope-intercept form. It's going to start the same way. Either way, we need to solve the equation for y. So this equation, we subtract off 3x. So we have 4y equals, again, put that x term first, negative 3x plus 12, and then divide both sides by 4, or divide everything by 4. And we get this equation, y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. Okay, now, here's where we get into the shorter method. The slope-intercept method. It's very important that we solve the equation for y, and we get it in this form called y equals mx plus b. Hopefully that is something that looks familiar to you. This m stands for slope. And b, this is called our y-intercept. Okay, so I just need to know those two things, and I know everything I need to know about the line to put it on the graph. Okay? The idea of slope. Hopefully this is a familiar topic. Slope is defined to be rise over run. So it's how far up or down, and then how far over we go. It's telling us how steep the line is. It also tells us whether it has a positive or a negative slope, which means does it go downhill from left to right, or does it go uphill from left to right? So that tells us how steep the line is. The y-intercept, this is where the line crosses the y-axis. So if I know where it crosses the y-axis, that vertical axis, and I know how steep it is, then I know everything I need to be able to draw the line. So if we look at that equation, y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. Start with the y-intercept. That is our b number, plus 3. Okay, I'm going to start by putting that on the graph. It crosses the y-axis at positive 3. 1, 2, 3. So right there. Then this line has a slope of negative 3/4. This is our rise. This is our run. Now, if you have a negative slope, always put the negative with the rise. So you'll go either up or down. If it's negative, we go down, but then we always run to the right. And what we're going to do is we're going to make little stair steps out of this to find the next couple of points on the line. So negative 3/4. If I start at that y-intercept and I go down 3 over 4. 1, 2, 3. I land at that point right there. Here's my slope, negative 3/4. This is the next point on the line. And I can repeat that. Down 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the next point. And it's these endpoints that I'm looking at. This point, this point, this point. Those are the ones that I'm going to connect to make my line. So let's go ahead and do that. And there's my line. So we make little stair steps out of that slope. Always run to the right. Just remember that, run to the right. You can go up or down depending on if it's positive or negative, but then run to the right. Okay? Let's try another example. I think I have 2 more examples. So real quick, first step, solve for y. We need y equals mx plus b. So the first problem on the left, y minus 2x plus 3. I need everything on one side except for y. So I'm going to add 2x and subtract 3 at the same time. So y equals 2x minus 3. Okay, I'm ready to draw the line. Look at the y-intercept. That's your b. This time it's a negative 3. So this line crosses the y-axis at negative 3. 1, 2, 3. Right down here. Then our slope is our m. It's attached to x. This time it's a whole number 2. To help you see the rise and run, go ahead and make that a fraction. So put it over 1. So 2 over 1. This is a positive slope, so I know the line's going to go uphill from left to right. So the rise is 2, so up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. And you can repeat that stair step however many times you want until you see all the points that you need to connect for your line. It's those endpoints out there after you rise and run. So now connect those with the line. And there we go. Wrong button. Here's our line. Okay, one more. Let's do this one real quick. I need to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract 6. 3y equals negative x minus 6. Okay, divide by 3. Divide these separately by 3. Yikes, 3. So y equals this negative x over 3. I'm going to make that negative 1/3 x. So it's easier to see the rise and run. Minus 2. All right, here we go. Y-intercept is that minus 2, so it crosses down here at negative 2. This one has a slope of negative 1/3. So that's down and then run to the right. So down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. And you can repeat this stair step several times. Looks like I'm a little off on that last one. But anyway, connect the points with the line. Right there. Good enough. And we should be finished. There's my line. Okay, so most important, solve the equation for y. If for some reason you forget how the slope and the y-intercept work, you can always go back to that little xy table, pick values for x, plug them in. and it will always work that way. So hopefully the y equals mx plus b is something you've done before and remember and can pick up on pretty easy, and it saves you a whole lot of time in graphing these lines. But if not, go back to that table. Okay, that's problem set 8. Good luck.